This is more on the book From Here to Eternity. Okay, here we go. From Here to Eternity. I won't be the first person to say that's not just the title, that's also how long it took me to read it. Jones is in no hurry to tell his tale. It's in 5 sections, over 50 chapters, and the Pearl Harbor attack doesn't happen until the middle of the last section. The vast bulk of the book is about what the soldiers are up to while they are waiting for the war. Most of that is simply up to no good. Jones's 2 great settings are the Army and Hawaii, and he knows both of them down to the last grain of sand. There are lighter moments, but overall the story is oppressive, dark, and sometimes, well, I was going to say unbelievably so, but the way Jones crafts it, it's more accurate to say believably so. It's as if Poe somehow found himself in the Army. He dedicates 1 chapter to a man killing himself, and trust me, it's believable. The man systematically strips himself of any vestige of self-esteem, wallows in humiliation, and then he methodically blows his head off with his rifle, pulling the trigger with his toe. That is Bloom, a Jew, and whether or not Jones was making a reference to Joyce, I don't know. There's a huge, long, extended piece on one day, payday. The soldiers get money, and that can only lead to trouble, all kinds of trouble. Some lose it quickly, they're the lucky ones. Some lose it quickly and borrow some more, digging their hole deeper. Eventually, all of the enlisted men, the EMs, will wind up in the shit where they belong. It's okay. It gives them something else to bitch about. Very early on in the book, I wrote myself a note. I said, I have never read a book with such a sense of doom about it. These people are all doomed. That feeling only increased as I read on. As one character reflects, only in the bad spells did life threaten him with its unbelievable cruelty, its inconceivable injustice, its incredible pointlessness. The book is pitiless, relentless, one big, long, bad spell. As another character says, they had you by the balls from the day you were born. One of the main characters walks a straight yet twisted path to his own perdition. Self-destruction is his method at every turn. He's a man of principle, and that doesn't wash in the Army. He's an excellent boxer, but he refuses to fight, getting him on everyone's shit list. That he's especially gifted with playing the bugle. Because someone is promoted over him for political reasons, he leaves the bugle corps. One of the bright moments in the book comes when, at the end of a day, he plays taps. Taps, of course. He is a child of the Great Depression, leaves home at 12 to go on the bum, constantly moving from frying pan to fire, enlists in the Army at 17, and though he is, in truth, a born soldier, a 30-year man to the core, he does not, cannot, adhere to the soldier's creed, to do what you're told. He can't do that. He won't do that. He's a fuck-up. So he winds up in the stockade, jumping from the fire into the furnace, and then on to barracks number 2, home for the worst of the fuck-ups, men who are proud to be fuck-ups. The stockade is a total, believable nightmare. It is as bad as the reports of Nazi concentration camp guards. The men are punished until they will do what they're told. There are long discussions among the prisoners on how to survive this, the beatings and the black hole, solitary confinement for days. Some of this is practical advice and very specific, and some of it is purely philosophical. Samuel Beckett used philosophical wordplay to express his nihilism. This book is the American equivalent of that. Jones's cast are not metaphors, they're dog faces, common, ordinary, very normal fuck-ups. I can see that I'm going to need another piece to get through this, so please bear with me. Hey, it's a big book. The character I've been following gets out of the stockade, kills the head guard Fatso in a knife fight in an alley behind a bar. Again, something he has to do. Is grievously wounded, goes AWOL, then, after the Japanese attack, he thinks it was the Germans, is about to turn himself in and go back to soldiering when he's caught by MPs, escapes, runs away, stops, and allows himself to be shot by a Browning machine gun, and dies in a sand trap on a golf course. He thought death would be something, at last, extraordinary, but it's not. It's just like everything else, common, ordinary, everyday. His last thought is, Christ, but the world is a lonely place. Hold that thought, please.